Alright, so we're back with XENA. Right, XENA? Yeah, you go girl. You go girl. XENA is now 10 months old. She is 76 pounds. I weighed her yesterday, so it's, you know, going to be fairly recent anyway. Stop that from jiggling. There we go. So, yeah, she's 10 months old, and I'm just doing another update video. This time I'm going to go through the park. You alright? You okay? You could grass seed up your nose or something? Alright, I think she's good. She probably sucked up one of those floaty seeds or something. Whole sneezing fit there. Anyway, yeah, she's 10 months old, 76 pounds, which, in my opinion, is kind of light. But, I mean, there ain't jack shit I can do about it, so... And that's one of the weird things. I've never had a Mastiff type dog before, so I don't know, like, when she's supposed to stop growing or any of that stuff. XENA, good girl, no pulling. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna go through the park today so you can see what she's like on leash in public areas. Somebody might look at me funny because I'm wearing a helmet, but whatever, they'll get over it. Yeah, just to show you guys what she's like when she's not in the backyard or in the forest on her own. And if we meet somebody, then you'll see the excitement problem. XENA, come here. XENA, come here. Come here. Sit. Good girl. So this is just a little good girl. Go. That right there is basically just an obedience drill. There's no reason she needed to come and sit in front of me other than to do as she's told. So before I take her off leash, she has to do as she's told, right? So if she's like super excited and she's not listening to me, then I won't take her off the leash. When she's, you know, paying attention enough that I can say, come here, sit down, and she listens, then I'll let her off the leash. So like I said, there's no other reason for it than just obedience. Another one of those practice drills. Oh my god, my neck is killing me today. What are you doing, crazy girl? God, she's got such a nice stance. I just wish you were like twice the size. 70. So that would put her at like 160 pounds. I mean, she's not going to get that big, but I'd like her to at least break 100 and get a little bit taller. Like, don't get me wrong, she's not a small dog. What do I have for size comparison? Okay, so I wear size 13 shoes, and she's like, you know, 2 feet tall. So she's not small, but she's not as big as I wanted yet. But I'll take it. Just her, you know, her obedience, I'll take it. My poor mom is dealing with so many problems. Her brother Louie, he just got fixed about a week ago, and he's still pretty rowdy. He doesn't do as he's told. So the rules for Xena on leash are: she is allowed to go in the radius of the leash, so anywhere within that, like, circumference, whatever, as long as she doesn't pull. So actually I'm going to start making her walk to heel very soon, so right beside me. But as it stands right now, the rule is she can go anywhere within the leash's, you know, radius, as long as she's not pulling. See? So that's fine. She's not pulling, so she's allowed to be over there. and hey, because she's still young, she's still learning. So right now, those are the rules. She's allowed to go within that circle as long as she's not pulling. And it seems to work pretty good. Most of the time, Xena, yeah, most of the time she's not even pulling hard enough to lift my arm. Arm lifts a little bit, Xena, and it drops. So yeah, that's Xena on leash. Come on, Xena. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to claim that she's perfect, because by no means is she perfect. But she's a hell of a lot better than she could be. Xena. Hey. Come on. Come on. She must have smelled something. And now you can see what I mean about popping the leash. Not everybody can do that, because I tried doing that with her brother Louie, and I mean, I wasn't being easy on him either. I was giving her some good pops, and he still wasn't getting it. So it doesn't work for all dogs. Like, I don't know, it's like he just didn't put two and two together, like he's yanking on the leash, not pulling, like... Louie just doesn't get it. So, for her it works. Just a couple light pops and she gets the idea. Come on, Xena. See, like, I didn't yank on her. I just basically, like, sent her a message down the leash, like, come on, let's go. Good girl, Xena. So usually when we're out here, well, usually when we're out here, I'll have her off leash. But legally, she's supposed to be on leash, so that's why I have two tied together. Just to give her a little extra freedom while we're in the, you know, the actual park area where it's technically illegal to have your dog off leash, even though she wouldn't harm anybody. Come on, Xena. Come on. Atta girl. Xena. Xena. Alright, she's not gonna listen. See, that's what I mean. If she doesn't come to me, I'm not gonna let her off leash. Because legally, we are on private property now. Come on. So I can let her off. Just want to go around the corner, make sure no one else is here. Gonna just let go of the leash. Oh, what a perfect day to wear the helmet. Breezy. It's like 15 degrees Celsius, so my head's not sweating off. Wow, is the park really empty today? On a gorgeous Sunday, the park's like dead. Alright, whatever. I thought for sure we'd see somebody. Ugh. Xena, come here. Come here. Sit. Good girl. Alright, let's go. I only do that because it's a metal collar and I don't want her getting it wet every time she goes swimming, so I wait till she's done swimming and then put it back on her. It still gets wet, but at least it doesn't get fucking submerged. Just help it last a little longer. Oh, this video is probably gonna get chopped all to hell. I'm trying to think. God damn it. Don't you hate it when you try to do that and it doesn't work? Xena, come here. Good girl. See, she's so well behaved. And like I said, I'm not gonna lie and try and say she's perfect. She does run away occasionally. Not very often, but occasionally she'll see a rabbit or, you know, something and take off. I ain't no bullshitter. But I mean, 90% of the time, she is, like, just awesome. How cold's that water? Oh, it's not as cold as I thought it would be, to be honest. Oh, I guess it's not that cold. She's going in. Yeah, she loves the water. You don't even have to encourage her. She'll just go in on her own. There, we're back. Didn't realize the lens is all fogged up. Hopefully it didn't ruin the whole friggin' thing. Come on, Xena. Hey, come here. Come here. Come on. I don't know where she thought she was going, but we're not going that way at the moment. Xena. Xena, come here. There she comes. Come here, sit. 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 Good girl. Good girl. All right, go. Again, just to make sure that she's listening, doing as she's told. It's just like a reminder, because to be honest, oh, Jesus. She does dumb stuff like that all the time, just walks in front of me, but for the most part, she's so well behaved that I very rarely get to use my emergency recall. So it's like, it's almost to the point where she's so well behaved that I don't use the emergency recall enough that she's gonna forget it. So I almost have to use her emergency recall just to, you know, refresh it. Or else I'll never end up using it. Like, literally never. And then when I go to use it, she won't have heard it in 2 months, and then, right? Like, I have to try and think about all that stuff with her. And she's just, oh, so good sometimes. For example, yeah, she was in the front yard, and some people were walking by. She was off leash, as she is quite often, and she ran out into the road to meet these people. And I tried calling her back with the normal, Xena, come here command. Nothing. And this is all within a span of like a minute, maybe 2. So I tried the normal command a couple times, and then I yelled at her emergency command, and she actually stopped talking to, saying hi to the people, and came to me. I was like, holy shit, it actually worked. Xena, come! Yeah, like that. And I was just so surprised that I was able to... Hang on, honey. I got your treats on me somewhere. I should have been ready, but... Look at her licking her lips. There you go. So anyway, I was very surprised that she was able to override her curiosity. And she's done that twice. We were actually here in this field, just over there on the beach, and a lady went by with a dog and a kid in a baby stroller, and the same thing. Xena ran up to them to say hi, just being friendly. And I, did the emergency recall, and she stopped and came back. And I was like, holy crap. It actually works. So Xena was trained with the excuse me, emergency recall from 12 weeks old. I don't know what that works out to, but I'll put it on the screen what months it is. It's like 4 months or something. Whatever, I'll figure it out. But anyway, because I got her at 10 weeks old, and I gave her 2 weeks to just, settle in and get used to her surroundings before I started training her. So she had 2 weeks to settle in, get used to me, that type of stuff, learn where the P spot was and everything, without me, yelling at her and telling her off. So in the first 2 weeks, Xena, come on. She pretty much had free reign. Like, I didn't tell her off for anything. I was just letting her, get used to the place. If she was chewing something I didn't want her to, I would just take it away. I wouldn't tell her off. Xena. So that was the first 2 weeks. And right around the 2 week mark, Xena, come on. Yeah, it had almost exactly, I would bet, the 12 week mark, sorry. But yeah, 2 weeks after I got her. She was biting my hand and she wouldn't stop. I'm yelling at her, stop biting. Where'd she go? Xena, come! What's she doing? Oh, she failed. She doesn't get a treat for that. What was that? You took too long. You took too long. Standing there looking at me, that's not what that command's for. So anyway, yeah, she kept biting me. And I had to smack her. Like, there was the only way to stop her. I yelled at her. I tried fucking everything. So that was pretty much right on the 2 week mark. She kept biting my hand, like to the point where she was gonna make me bleed. So I just kind of whacked her on the head. I mean, she was tiny, right? I'm not gonna hurt her. And that was essentially her first you know, first corrections. So the first thing she had to learn at 12 weeks old was to stop biting. So I guess that's another rule I can go over with her. There's many rules for Xena, I just can't think of them all the time. So Xena's mouth rule. She is allowed to mouth play as long as she's gentle. I don't care if she wants to stick my whole hand in her mouth, as long as she's gentle. So that's her rule. She's allowed to chew on my fingers, whatever. As long as I'm not, you know, broken and bleeding by the end of it, then it's all good. I can deal with some slobber, it wipes off. So that's her mouth rule. She's not allowed to grab wrists or legs, because I noticed very young she has a tendency to go for ankles and wrists. So I made sure to tell her off for that, because that's not a play area. There's not much skin there. There's no, you know what I mean? Like, you're grabbing somebody's arm, you're pretty much grabbing bone. So that's a no-no. But hands are okay as long as she's being gentle. No jumping whatsoever. She's not allowed to get up on anybody, simply because of how big she is, or will be, depending on where she stops. Because, you know, you don't want a 100-pound plus dog coming up and pushing on you. So she's not allowed to jump up either. Barking is highly discouraged. There's almost no reason for her to bark in my situation. So pretty much every time she barks, I tell her to shut up, regardless of the reasons. It's just usually it's not necessary. You know, if somebody's at the door knocking, that's understandable, but the majority of the time it's not necessary. Like people walking by on the street, you don't need to be barking. Just sit down, shut up, and watch. So biking is highly discouraged. She never was a chewer of furniture anyway, but I mean, I always gave her a literal toy box of stuff to chew on and play with, and she always had bones and raw hides and pieces of wood from outside. You know, if she ever picked up a random piece of wood from out here and it looked like she wanted to keep it, I'd take it home for her. You know, maybe it smells good, she wants to chew on it later. So she always had stuff to chew on, so that wasn't a problem. She loves tearing apart fabric. So again, I would give her stuff to tear apart. She knows the difference between what she's been given and what is just random on the floor laundry. So she had like an old towel, and what did I take? I took home an old backpack for her. Like some, you know, school backpack somebody threw out. I just took it home and let her tear it to shreds. It's like, I don't care, it's garbage, right? So I will specifically give her stuff like that. Cardboard boxes, cereal boxes, anything to keep her occupied. She doesn't do that as much anymore, but when she was younger, oh yeah, you just throw her a cereal box and she'll spend 10-15 minutes just tearing it to pieces. I mean, it makes a mess, but it stops her from destroying, you know, the furniture or your bed or couch or whatever, so. Yeah, she's always got stuff to chew on. Wanna do one more lap? What else? We'll do one more lap around the pond. Doesn't look like anybody's gonna be here today. What else can we go over? Oh, bedtime rules. I'm just trying to cover all the different subjects in case, you know, somebody needs tips or, you know, whatever. A lot of this stuff I had to figure out on my own because I've never had a dog this young before. Maya was 6 months when I got her, so she was already past most of the, you know, the potty training and all that type of stuff. She was already past most of that. Xena I had to start from fresh. But like I said, she was very intuitive. Did not take her, it took her maybe 2 days to figure out that she had to pee on the newspaper. And the only reason I wasn't taking her outside because I got her, was it January? So just the tail end of winter, and it was still like minus 15 outside, you know, and she's a little puppy. So I wasn't gonna take her outside and make her poop in the minus 15. Xena, come! That's more like it. That's my girl. That's my girl. Oh, Jesus. Oh, thanks for that. You just covered... No, wait. You didn't do that. Fucking covered in burrs again. God damn it. Whatever. Good girl, Xena. Good girl. Oh, that's funny. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to spend 10 minutes, fucking half an hour picking this shit out when I get home. Probably just change my pants, to be honest. Maybe I could use a hairbrush or something to brush those out. Oh man, she's funny. She's so excited to do her recall that she runs into me. Funny dog. I mean, most of the stuff I've showed you guys. The only thing we haven't got on camera yet is her interaction with people, which is terrible. Where the fuck did she go? Oh. She was right there a second ago. Crazy girl. Yeah, her interaction with people is not ideal. She just gets too excited and very jumpy, and you know, she runs around and tangles people up, and she just gets way too excited. So I mean, it's not a huge deal, but it is annoying. And it's to the point where she, you know, it's hard to hold her back sometimes. Ready? There she goes. Yeah, if you want a Mastiff that loves swimming, press it. Look for a stick that's a little better size so I can get some more distance on it. Yeah, she absolutely loves swimming. Which my old dog did too. Maya used to love the water as well. Just coincidence, I guess, that both of my dogs are like fish. Four-legged fish. Go get it! Oh, you want the big one? Alright. Ready? Crazy dog. Well, let's see, what other rules can I go over? Xena was supposedly crate trained when I got her. But she's never been in a crate since. I don't even have a crate. However, I did block off Xena. Drop it. Drop it. I basically built her own room with a wire cage door so that she can see me if she's locked in her room. So it's not as if she's in a closed room with the door shut. If I close her in her room, she can still see me, she can still see the door to the front door. So it's not as if she's, you know, completely excluded. And other than that, yeah, she's never been in a crate. I just shut her in her room when I go out, and she'll usually either just sleep or, you know, grab a bone or a rawhide or something and just chew on that. So she's never been in a crate, not with me anyway. So, you know, she's in a 20 by, I'd say like 20 by 15 room. And there's a bunch of shit in there, bed, wires, whatever. And one of the arguments my mom brought up is she's like, why do you have all this random stuff in the dog's room? And my argument was, how am I supposed to teach her not to chew wires and shit if she never sees them? Right? Like, if the dog never sees a wire, how are you supposed to tell her not to chew it? The first time she sees a wire, she's gonna be like, what the fuck is that? That's interesting. It smells funny. Right? So, in the dog's room, there's all kinds of stuff that most people would be like, that probably shouldn't be there. But she has to learn. And, you know, one of the best ways for her to learn is to interact with that type of stuff. So anyway, yeah, but the point I was trying to get at is she's been trained not to chew wires or stuff like that. She used to try chewing on the walls of her room, essentially. And again, I'd be sitting on my couch, like, she's literally in the next room with a cage door, so like the sound goes right through it. I can hear her chewing something she shouldn't be, so I get up and check. Sure enough, she's trying to chew on one of the screws holding her wall together. This was very early on, like when she was like 3 months old, 4, somewhere around there. So yeah, she's never been in a crate. She is allowed on the bed, but that's just my personal preference. I'm not gonna say whether dogs should be allowed on the bed or not, because to me it's personal preference. If you want your dog to sleep with you, that's up to you, man. I have no problem with her snuggling up to me in bed. Yeah, so I don't mind her sleeping on the bed. She's also allowed on the couch next to me. When I'm gaming or watching movies or whatever, she's allowed to hop on the couch and, you know, put her head on my lap type of thing. Get the froggy! Get the froggy! There's a patio door in my room. She's allowed to look outside pretty much whenever, as long as she doesn't bark. If she keeps barking, then I close the blinds, you know. What did you find? What do you got? That's a good size stick for you. You want me to throw it? Xena, you want me to throw it? No? Is it a sinker? Almost. Doesn't float very well. One of the other things I've tried to do with her is I want her to see me as her protector, not the other way around. There is a good reason for that. Is that thing like in my skin? God damn. So, she's a guard dog, or at least supposed to be. I wouldn't say she's much of a guard dog, to be honest, but she's supposed to be. And I don't want her getting aggressive. So anytime there is another dog showing aggression, or even a person showing aggression, I will pull her behind me. So I am between her and the problem. And I think it's working, because just the other day she got a little bit scared and she went behind me automatically, so I'm hoping it's working. But yeah, there's been a couple times, say, where there's a dog off leash that's not supposed to be, and he's running over towards us. I will put me between, you know, her and the other dog. So if he wants to get to her, he's got to go through me first. Which most people wouldn't do, I don't think. But again, that's like I said, because I want her to be... I'm not even going to bother. I would rather her to be dependent on me than trying to be aggressive. Xena, drop it. Good girl. Hey. Crazy girl. Again, just like I said, to try and keep the aggression to a minimum. Like, you don't need to protect me. I'm going to protect you. That type of thing. I'd rather her be scared and hide behind me. There's a good girl. There's a good girl. Alright, we're going to have one more smoke and then get out of here. So anyway, I realize the video is not going to be all that exciting, but that's Xena's 10-month update. And as you can see, her obedience and stuff hasn't really changed. She's still the same old sweetheart she was when she was 4 months old. She's very pushy. But that I think that's my fault, because my old dog was like that too. I think it's just the way I treat them, because I push them around a lot. Like, not aggressively, but it's very often that I'll just kind of, you know, push on them or whatever. So they do the same thing to me. They'll walk by me and just kind of, you know, shove, give you the shoulder type of thing. Or if you're standing in a doorway and she wants to get by, she'll just kind of slowly push her way past you. Unless you tell her off. Like, if you just leave her be, she'll just slowly push her way past. And Maya used to bend the door to my bedroom trying to push it open. Like I said, they're just pushy. That's the other thing, like, I teach them to push open doors and stuff like that. Her not yet, but I used to let Maya outside and just close the door but not latch it. And the same thing with the upstairs door. So there'd be 2 doors she'd have to push open to get upstairs. And I'd just leave her out there on her own. So she could spend an hour outside if she wanted to. And when she was ready, she'd just come push the door open. And as soon as she comes upstairs, then I go downstairs and close the door. So yeah, I teach them to push doors open. No scratching or anything, but they use their head to bump the door open if it's unlatched. What else? I've been trying to teach her to cover herself up with a blanket, but it's not working. Same thing with the old dog. I tried to teach her too, and I'm either doing it wrong or they don't care. Xena. Come here. Hey. Come here. Xena. Come here. I don't know why, but that's one of my signals that seems to work pretty good. I just stomp on the ground. Because she can feel it, like, through the ground when I do that, so it kind of startles her a little bit. As you can see, it got her attention very quickly. So, and that's going back to the thing where, like, I try not to yell at her and hit her all the time. I'll try different things to get her attention. Anyway, guys, I'm going to take the helmet off. It's getting sweaty in this thing. Xena, come here. Come here. See? Good girl. Good girl. Stay. Alright, guys. That's good enough for today. I don't need to be walking down the road with a helmet on. Alright, hope you enjoyed. Say bye, Xena.